Have you ever had an out-of-body experience? And how often can you practice it? Is it a conscious process or it happens on its own? What is the purpose of astral projection? Can absolutely anyone practice it? What are the possible dangers? All of these questions and many more we will cover in our tonight's program. But before we start, please click a like button and subscribe to this channel to stay up to date with all our latest videos, classes and meditations. Also, please comment below with any topic you want me to cover and if you would like to become a guest in our program. Dear brothers and sisters, it's so nice to see you all back again on our channel Rise and Shine TV. And tonight we have a very special guest, my first teacher and of energy healing, my dear friend William Spanier
III.
the third. Sorry. Yes, and he's a yoga instructor, kundalini yoga instructor, hatha yoga as well.
Just kundalini.
This kundalini energy healer. He wrote amazing books about chakras for children, so all of you who have children, I highly recommend to buy this book to start a spiritual education for your children from the early age. So, William,
Yes.
will you be so kind and introduce yourself? What do you do, and how did you get to this path of healing? How did you get to this path of spirituality? How did it all started for you?
For me, it started with a car accident when I was 18, and then after that I started having out-of-body experiences amongst many different type of psychic phenomena. And then a couple of years later I learned that you could do this on purpose.
Oh, wow, so you're saying that everyone can do that? Like, absolutely?
Yes.
Wow.
I was learning that other people were doing it on purpose, so I started practicing what was out there. And I used to be a part of this group called Astral Society, but it closed down quite some time ago. But we used to exchange a lot of notes. And so after I learned that you could do it on purpose, I tried the first night to get it to get it to work using different techniques, and I failed. But the next morning I succeeded because I was a little bit more relaxed, I guess.
Wow.
And that was my first experience. And I used the classic rollout technique for you astral projectors out there. And it's the sloppiest technique that exists, where you basically rip your body, your energy body, off your physical body like Velcro. And then I wandered into the living room where I saw 3 people standing at attention and one with his back to me.
Wow.
And then I did the naive thing that people do back then, or when they're first starting, is I asked them, "Are you my guides?" And then
So they actually went.
the 3 that were standing at attention didn't say anything, and then the guy who had his back to me turned around and said yes. And after he did that, I snapped back into my body, hyperventilating, and then I walked into the living room and they were not there.
That's crazy. Have you ever heard, like, I'm pretty sure most of you haven't even heard about all the out-of-body experiences in astral projection, and more to that, that you, being just a normal human being, never doing anything like that, can easily go out of body with practice, of course. So that's what William is teaching, and for me it's pretty insane. So today we will ask everything about it and how it can be achieved, how can it be done, is it dangerous, is it not, how you come back to your body after that, and all these nice kind of things. So how often do you travel out of body?
Right now, it's not really a focus of mine. Maybe every couple of weeks or 3 weeks or something. Right now, when it happens, it's usually on accident. So right now, what I'm doing, it's always there, and it's always going to happen, even if I don't want it to. But
so basically, can you control it, or it happens without your control?
I personally can control it if I'm actively practicing that. If I'm actively practicing something else, it can conflict, and then so it puts, even the higher self will see what you're doing, and it'll be like, okay, so we're gonna stop doing this for a little while. We're gonna start doing this for a little while. Like I spent many years just astral projecting every single day.
So practicing consciously, right?
Yeah, like you have to let your higher self see what you're trying to do, and then once it sees, like, oh wow, he's really being enthusiastic and serious about this, it'd be like, all right, let's let it happen, and you'll get it in big bursts sometimes in small. So I had for years where that's all I was doing, and then after that, it turned into, I had a phase of I was doing way more healing for people, and I had no free time. I was just healing constantly. I wake up, I do some computer related work, heal, make food, go to bed.
But with the healing, do you also sometimes go like kind of out of body? Because when I do the healing, I have pretty similar experience to that, where I can go and communicate maybe with the higher self of that person, or his or her spirit guides and stuff like that.
I would say the closest thing, the way that I would relate it to being like having an out-of-body experience when you're doing healing is because the closer you get to your body being asleep while you're doing healing on people, the stronger and more you hear and see, like the more it happens, the more stuff happens. So just like how an out-of-body experience is mind awake, body asleep, the same kind of applies for doing healing. That's why when you get really deep, when you're working on somebody, you just start yawning and yawning and yawning and yawning. It's because you're getting to that point, that little line in between, you know, full waking, or the line between being awake and being asleep. Yep.
True.
You're walking on the tightrope. Yeah.
So did it help you with the healing, or in general, what it helps you with, or you just doing it for sake of practice, for just sake of fun and traveling around and see what other people are doing at this time?
So why do I do healings for people?
No. Why do you do out of body experiences? Like what it gives you, what benefits does it give you? Or maybe you just do it because it's pretty much fun to do it, and you know, walk around Earth unnoticed and sneak what other people are doing.
Yeah, but
or you have like higher purpose to it.
It's all of it at once. It's hard to keep. It's as soon as you get out. Not me. This is not how I am anymore. But for a while, as soon as you get out, the first thing you want to do is go explore. First thing you want to do is run into disembodied people. You want to talk with them. Like you just want to have this experience that kind of blows your reality and creates like an entirely different one. And it becomes like a drug. You just want to keep doing it. But then as time goes on, and I've had conversations with other people that do it, you want to do something practical. But how can you do that? Well, okay, so say that you left your body and you went to somebody who lived far away and you saw what they were wearing, and then you came back and then you tell them what they're wearing. Okay, well, that's great and everything, but then what? What have you really accomplished? Not really anything.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, so how do you bring practicality into astral projection and leaving your body? Another thing that I've discovered is some types of practices that are taught from like Hindu backgrounds, different yogic, Vedic type of backgrounds. If you apply the teachings in energetic form, they actually do what they're supposed to do very fast. And that's a practical way of doing something. So if you want to create an outcome physical life, if you do it in energetic existence,
Mm-hmm.
practice it there, it comes back with you.
Oh, so you can bring to the material world
Right.
what you practice in the astral.
Right.
Or in
But there's still a lot of experimentation to be done with
Mm-hmm.
that. And people are already doing this.
So basically you practice as you go. There's no like written instruction anywhere.
Not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had great teachers. Like Robert Bruce was my hero. Like, you should look up Robert Bruce. And I got to meet him and hang out with him for a week. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I even slept at his house and ate dinner with him.
Nice.
Yeah, we even split a bottle of red wine and talked about all sorts of metaphysical things. And then when I was sleeping in his spare bedroom, I had an out-of-body experience. And the room dropped out from underneath me. I walked into Robert's room.
Mm-hmm.
I shook him. His energetic body turned around because he was sleeping. And he said, "Congratulations."
Oh
And
wow, so both of you were like out of your body, right?
he was in regular sleep mode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there's more to this story, but I'm gonna not make it overly complicated. But after I had that just little tiny experience at my hero's house, I snapped back to my body quickly because I wanted to remember everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. Now, if I would have stayed out and went and walked his neighborhood or flew around, it's very possible I would have lost my my memory of the situation.
Oh wow, so that's very interesting point. So basically you can forget
Yep.
what you experienced.
Much like you could slip into the subconscious like dream world.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't keep your focus 100%, you can't trust your surroundings because your subconscious will create them. So you'll still be in the astral realm or the real time zone, which is like the physical realm,
Mm-hmm.
but you've also created your surroundings that don't exist.
Oh, I see. So you can basically get lost.
Yeah.
Can you? Oh no.
You can get lost, or you can just like, you're not having an authentic experience anymore.
Okay, and is it like guaranteed that you're gonna come back to your body, or you need to do something special to come back? Like maybe, is it like a practice, or it comes natural?
Oh, it's gonna get hairy. Okay, well, I could say that I've always come back, and I could say that everybody.
But do you know that somebody like haven't?
How would I know?
You don't know. Like maybe you heard stories, you know.
No, I mean, there has been times where you can get far away, locked out,
Mm-hmm.
without being able to find your way back, but you always do. And anybody who didn't, well, nobody knows.
Because it's one of my biggest fears that I won't find my way back
The
to my body.
likelihood is slim, and if you're fortunate enough that you pop out of your body and you're actually in the astral,
Mm-hmm.
you should just know that, like, if you wanted to wiggle your foot, you
Mhm.
could still do that,
Oh, okay.
and that'll like.
So you at all times you're connected to your body basically, on some level.
Yeah, and at some points, like, you can lose the sense of your physical body sometime,
Mm-hmm.
but if you concentrate hard enough, you could always do it. And if you're gonna go down this road, you're gonna experience something called sleep paralysis, and that's when you get locked into your body and you can't move physically.
Mm-hmm.
What people normally try to do is move their entire body, and they can't, and they're trapped inside like as if they're in a coma,
Oh,
and it's very scary for people.
yeah,
But-
it can be. I can see it.
But if you just try to move your head
Mm-hmm.
and not anything else, you have a much better chance of shortening the
Yeah,
length.
that's what you told me when like spirits came and kind of froze me. You told like once you can move your head, they will let you go. I remember this lesson you gave me, and I'm still practicing it from time to time. It's not happening with me that often any longer, but still, once it does, I still remember that lesson. Oh, can you actually describe your feeling? Like, how the person know? Like, is there like a mark? Like, 100% I know I'm out of body, or maybe, you know, some people think, am I out of body or no? Maybe it's just like close to awake state.
If you're not 100% sure, you haven't accomplished it.
Yeah, that's basically, I think, a very good mark.
Yeah. Like it is undeniably the most extreme, and like it's an undeniable extreme experience. And it's very, very, very lucid as it would be like we are now, as it is walking down this path. So it might be a lot shorter experience, but it's not gonna, it's not to be mistaken for anything. So anybody that says that they think,
so they went,
or they got close, or whatever.
So if you think you were out of your body, you were not. You will know 100% that you are once you are.
Those who know, know. And those who don't, ask them
They just
questions.
guess. Yeah. And are there like any more dangers, or maybe some people, it's not good for them to do that, to practice out of body, or it's possible for absolutely everyone? No restrictions apply.
I like to live in the world of no restrictions applies. But yeah, I mean, if you're not emotionally stable, probably not the best thing in the world to do. If you're not mentally stable, probably not the best thing in the world to do. Doesn't mean that you can't do it, but it'll just make you more and more unstable.
I see.
So, this is why like sometimes you do it a lot in waves. Sometimes like you don't do it at all.
True.
So.
Actually, William has an upcoming retreat on Bali this October, right?
End of October.
End of October, where I'm gonna leave the link below to sign up. And there he will teach step-by-step practice, right? How to achieve. Can you please share what people can expect from this upcoming retreat?
Yeah, there's a practicality that comes along with this, where you can practice astral projection techniques and try to, maybe you'll trick your higher self or your subconscious into letting you have an out-of-body experience. But there's a more practical way of doing that, and that's by moving energy very specifically in the body to the point where you overload the energy body, that there's so much energy that there's no choice but for you to pop out. So that's what I'm teaching.
Wow, so basically you can put yourself to the state that you're gonna just click automatically, no matter how resistant you are or scared, or or maybe if you're a control freak like me, this technique will still help you, right, to go out of your body.
Sure, but
Nice.
there will be exiting strategy once you get once you turn the energy body on. But this is a way that like it gives it a way, the chance becomes way higher if you could accumulate a lot of energy in your body, and not by visualizing or anything like that, by actual movement and sucking stuff in like a vacuum cleaner, and storing it. So it's not just with the chakras, but it's also with different energy centers in the body. And then there's technique, and that's what the whole workshop is for, is to learn it. But there's other things that we're going to be doing. I'm very excited to experiment on people. And,
experiment on people.
Yes.
Sounds nice.
Like doing things like anything that you practice for long periods of time becomes something that you're good at, right?
True.
And when you take time off, like if you play chess or something, and you go back to it, you're no longer that great, right? So if I taught people how to have clairaudience, and I practice it myself with them, or I taught people how to be able to understand yes and no, or true and false, just based on a frequency. At first I have to teach them how to hear the frequency, and then we could practice yes and no and right and wrong. And so that's the experimentation part of it. So if we practice it together for long periods of time, we can also do these extra things that are separate from astral projection.
Wow. And also, very interesting point you mentioned earlier before when we were talking is the difference between out-of-body experience into the astral and out-of-body experience into the This time zone.
Real time zone.
Real time zone, yeah.
Coined by Robert Bruce, that term.
Mm-hmm.
Real time zone is as close to the physical as you're going to get. You're going to see almost everything the same. Time moves pretty much the same. People are walking around just the same. What you might experience there as well, though, are dead people, just lower vibrational things, people's attachments.
So basically, like souls of people who left this material world, which are still in this plane, you can see them.
Yes. So those people exist in the real time zone, and for those things. And then the astral is more, it's higher vibrational. It's a different place. It's like something that overlays our world in a way and our universe, but is actually, they're not occupying. They're like a phase away, like a dimension away from each other. So it's not the same.
So you've been to both, basically,
yes.
right?
Many other places.
Many other.
So an out-of-body experience is an astral projection, but an astral projection is not an out-of-body experience.
And what's the difference?
Where you are. So most people have a difficult time getting out of the real time zone. All they can do is exist and fly around and go in people's houses and stuff like that. And but other people they advance on, and other people get lucky and they go straight to the astral.
But basically in the astral you can practice something more useful and valuable than just walk around.
You can learn,
yeah.
More importantly. Like they have, this is where like masters and stuff kind of hang out.
Wow.
You can get lucky and start learning things from not only your guides, but just things, people that exist that are there to teach. The question is, are you going to remember it?
Oh.
Because you have to like remember things.
But with practice, does it come, like the memory comes more and more, or it's not related?
It comes more and more, but you should start out making your experience as real and as short as possible, and then go longer, then go longer, then go longer. But the gathering of energy into the energy body will directly relates directly to how long you can stay out and how much you can remember. So that's why accumulating a lot of energy is very important. So there are other ways of doing it besides just sucking in energy, but for me it's the most practical. So.
And what will be your advice to those, who just thinking of starting doing out-of-body experience, or maybe any other spiritual energy practice, because you know so much about energy movement and energy healing?
Be grounded and be protected, however that is for you. I recommend always, it's good to have backup people that are smarter than you, especially if they're able to protect you. So
not to do it on your own.
Probably not. Like, if going down a lot of these roads on your own could be very scary, and people question their own sanity and You just need to,
like a guide, not the spirit guide, but like a real materialistic person guide.
I suppose, but I did a lot of stuff on my own in the beginning, but I also went through a lot of scary stuff.
So you suggest that people start practicing with someone who already done that and knows what he's or her or she doing.
At least an experienced, like somebody who's wrote a lot of books on it. That's another route to go down, but you may never talk to them. You may have a question that they could answer, but you'll never be able to ask them, especially if they're dead.
But if you go to astral, maybe you have a chance to ask them.
Well, you'll have a chance to talk to like some part of them maybe, but that person that was the one writing the book, in a way, is not the person that you'll meet there.
Okay. So I hope that all this information you find useful, and that at least will spark a little interest in you in out-of-body experiences in astral projection. And in the description of this video I will leave the link to William's website and a link to his YouTube, where you can go even deeper into all these subjects, and you will have the opportunity to ask him directly all your questions if you have some, and sign up for his upcoming retreat, and I'm sure it will blow everyone's mind and it will be an unforgettable experience for every single one of you.
Don't forget about the children's book series, Chakra Friends.
Yes, we're gonna leave that also.
And look out for Chakra Workout. It is on the horizon.
Nice, so many upcoming new projects. That's super excited. And I'm super grateful that you've been with us this time, and I see you soon back here on our channel Rise and Shine TV in a week. With love and gratitude, your Lakshmi.